You just crushed an hour at the gym and burned 600 calories according to your fitness tracker. Now you're eyeing that post-workout muffin like you've earned a medal. Your friend who runs marathons swears he can eat whatever he wants and his blood sugar stays perfect. Meanwhile, someone in your comments insists that intense workouts will reverse diabetes, and diet doesn't even matter if you just move enough. Ever wonder if exercise actually cancels out sugar? Or if we've all been sold a story that only works for people already winning? Today, I'll explain whether you can out-exercise sugar like you're 5 years old. By the end, you'll understand how much exercise really moves the needle on glucose. You'll learn what active actually means versus what we pretend it means, and whether that dessert you earned is a reward or a trap you didn't see coming. Here's what's actually happening in your body when you work out. When you exercise, your muscles act like a sponge. They wring themselves out during the workout and get thirsty for glucose to refill. This part is real science, not Instagram motivation. Your muscles will literally pull sugar straight out of your bloodstream to restock their energy stores, filling up what's called glycogen. Here's the kicker: they can do it without needing insulin. That's why athletes can sometimes handle more carbs than your average person, especially compared to someone sitting at a desk for 8 hours straight, barely moving except to reach for their coffee mug. But here's where the story gets messy about that sponge effect. That sponge effect doesn't last forever, only 24 to 48 hours max. You get maybe 24 to 48 hours of that superpower, and it only applies to the muscles you actually used. You hit legs on Monday and your quads become a glucose vacuum? Great work on those quads pulling sugar from your blood. But your arms are still sitting there like a couch potato doing nothing. So one hard workout doesn't hand you a free pass to demolish donuts for the next 3 days. It's not a bank account where you deposit exercise and withdraw cookies whenever you feel like it. Now, let's talk about the bathtub metaphor for your metabolism. Imagine you're trying to drain a bathtub with a bucket, but someone's at the faucet cranking it to full blast while you scoop water out. That's what happens when you exercise once a day, but spend the other 23 hours eating constant sugar. Add sleeping 5 hours a night, stressing about your boss, and sitting in an endless loop of not moving. You're bailing water while someone else floods the system. 1 hour at the gym does not erase 23 hours of metabolic chaos. Your body is trying to recover and regulate, but you keep throwing more problems at it. Here's where it gets interesting with daily movement patterns. The real game changer isn't that one heroic sweat session where you nearly throw up and post about it with 5 fire emojis. It's NEAT, which stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. That's just a fancy term for walking, standing, fidgeting, taking the stairs, and pacing while you're on the phone. Basically, all the movement that doesn't involve spandex or a gym membership. Studies show that people who walk 8,000 steps or more daily often have better glucose control. They beat people who sit all day but crush one brutal workout. Why does this happen, you might be wondering? Because low-level movement keeps that sponge effect going all day long, instead of waiting for one big gulp at 6 p.m. Your muscles are constantly sipping glucose throughout the day, keeping your blood sugar steady. It's the difference between having a steady paycheck and waiting for one giant lottery win that may never come. Now let's talk about what active really means for your body. You hit the gym 4 times a week for an hour, and that's 4 hours total. Sounds impressive when you say it out loud at brunch. But remember, there are 168 hours in a week, so do the math. If you're sedentary for the other 164 hours, then you're not really active at all. You're basically sedentary with a gym hobby, not truly active. The people with the best metabolic health aren't necessarily the ones doing the most intense workouts. They're the ones who move consistently throughout the day. They're walking to the store, standing at their desk, playing with their kids, gardening, and cleaning the house. They're doing literally anything that isn't sitting in the same position for hours, while their body quietly panics about what to do with all the glucose just floating around. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear because it ruins the fantasy. Exercise is incredibly powerful for managing glucose, and it absolutely moves the needle. But it's not a magic eraser for bad choices, and it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card either. It's more like a boost to a system that needs to be decent in the first place. If your diet is a dumpster fire of constant sugar and processed carbs, exercise won't save you. It'll just make you a fit person with blood sugar issues and high triglycerides, plus a whole list of problems that don't care how many miles you ran this week. Your body isn't a simple math equation where calories in minus calories out equals success. It's a chemistry lab where hormones, insulin, cortisol, sleep quality, and stress levels are all throwing ingredients into the mix. This matters to you because we've all been taught the same story. Work out hard and you earn your food, right? Burn it off and balance the scale. That's what they say. But that mindset is exactly how the trap starts for most people. You crush a workout, feel like a champion, and then reward yourself with something that spikes your blood sugar right back to where it was. You're running on a treadmill, metabolically speaking, sweating, working, going absolutely nowhere. And the worst part? You blame yourself for not working out hard enough, instead of realizing the game was rigged from the start. You think the solution is more exercise, when the real problem is everything else you're doing. The most powerful combination isn't one intense workout and then whatever you want for dinner. It's daily movement that doesn't require a warm-up, meals that don't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster, actual sleep that lasts more than 6 hours, and managing your stress so your cortisol isn't screaming at your liver to dump more glucose into your blood at 3 a.m. when you should be dreaming about literally anything else. Here's what actually works. Walking after meals, even just 10 minutes, can cut your blood sugar spike by 20 to 30%. Not running, not CrossFit, walking. Like your grandma does around the neighborhood while she judges everyone's landscaping choices. Strength training 2 to 3 times a week builds muscle, and more muscle means more sponges soaking up glucose all day long, even when you're doing nothing. But the secret weapon? Consistency. Moving a little bit all day, every day, beats the hero workout you do once and then spend the next 6 days recovering from while you're glued to your couch. But here's where people get tripped up. They see elite athletes crushing entire pizzas and think that's the standard. What they don't see is that those athletes are training multiple hours a day, every single day, at intensities most of us can't even imagine. Their entire life is structured around performance, recovery, sleep, and fueling. They're not working a 9 to 5, sitting in traffic, stressing about deadlines, and then squeezing in a workout at 7 p.m. Comparing yourself to them is like comparing different machines built for different purposes. Different fuel, different rules, different reality. To recap, exercise makes your muscles act like a sponge for glucose, but that effect only lasts 24 to 48 hours. And it only works for the muscles you actually trained. If your diet is constantly spiking your blood sugar while you're stressed, underslept, and sedentary most of the day, you're filling the bathtub faster than any workout can drain it. Neat. Walking and moving throughout the day often beats one intense workout because it keeps your muscles sipping glucose all day long. Exercise is powerful, but it's not a magic eraser for a bad diet. The real winning combo is daily movement, meals that don't wreck your blood sugar, quality sleep, and managing stress. And the athletes who seem invincible, they're playing a completely different game with completely different rules. So stop comparing your Tuesday evening gym session to their full-time job. So here's my question for you. If you work out 4 times a week, but sit the rest of the time, and reward yourself with dessert after every session, are you managing your health or just running in circles? Drop your honest answer below because I guarantee half of you are lying to yourselves right now about what active actually means in your life.